You've been there since the beginning. Now, see how it all ends. June 1st, Temptation Tuesdays return. One last time.
Do you have any idea how close to death you are?
As close as you are.
It's the fatal final season, and the wicked will be punished.
Do you think Hannah is a weak woman?
No, she is also a formidable foe.
Tyler Perry's The Haves and the Have-Nots, the final season premiere event.
All right, folks, this is it. I'm going to somewhat assume this is our final promo trailer until the actual show returns on June 1st. And then after the first episode of the final season, they'll probably give us the, now let's take a look at the final season, basically, or what's coming up. But you know how they do, where we get like the little promo giving us the return date and then the trailer like what we just got today. And then after the first episode, instead of next week on the Haves and the Have-Nots, is going to be a trailer showing us this season on the Haves and the Have-Nots. So I'm going to assume, which is a dangerous word, that this is our final look at the final season until we get the final season. And if I'm wrong, oh well, it doesn't really matter to me. It just means more content to cover in the future. So thankfully, this promo was only 30 seconds, and I could trim off the last few seconds because it was nothing but the title card and return date, which we already know is June 1st. I know that it was originally supposed to be May 25th. Makes me know, never mind, it's just 1 week difference. And plus, it just seems appropriate to start the final season on the 1st of June. See what I did there? So it is 8 episodes long. And you all know how I do by now if you are new to the channel. Basically, you saw the promo. I'm going to break it down to the best of my ability. I might be incorrect about certain things, but I try my best to make this video as organized as possible. You know, I got all the screenshots. I wrote down all the dialogue. And truth be told, aside from the narrator, there are only 2 pieces of dialogue. Everything else is just a bunch of random scenes that I'm going to try to put together, and we'll go from there. So before going forward in the video, this is a big moment because, like I said, this could be our last like promo trailer ever until after the first episode. So let's not take this lightly. Let's try to get this video. It's been a bit since when was the last time I had a video cross 100,000 views? I think it was the one I did about sisters, the shower scene between Zach and Fatima. This is the Haves and Have-Nots. Let's try to get to 100,000 views on this one. But go ahead and hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you did so. Let's try to get to 500 likes. Also, hit subscribe to help me reach 200,000 subscribers. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. Let's get the Haves and the Have-Nots Facebook group up and running again. We're still at like 45,000. Wait. Yeah, it's 45,000 members, but the group is pretty barren in terms of activity. And finally, hit the bell notification icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post new content to the channel itself. So let's talk about the dialogue that the narrator said, because I will say up front, and I've been saying this for well over a year now, I'm not completely confident that we're going to get a solid conclusion. When I say solid conclusion, I'm not saying as a quote-unquote fanboy or addict that every last question needs to be answered. I'm not expecting it to, because there are way too many storylines and character arcs that have yet to be revisited or even hinted at getting a solid conclusion, like, you know, Tony's kidney, just to name one off the top of my head. So I honestly don't think that the show's going to do it because there are only 8 episodes left. Now, don't get me wrong. I want to tell you what the narrator said right now. You've been there since the beginning. Now, let's see how it all ends. June 1st, Temptation Tuesdays returns one last time. Okay, all right, I see where you're going with that. It's the final, or excuse me, it's the fatal final season, and the wicked will be punished. Again, that sounds intriguing because you know me, when it comes to a lot of these shows, the one character I want to appear more than anything else is consequences. So the trailer starts off with pretty much, you know, a montage of the main cast, you know, the Young family, the Cryer family, the Harrington family, with scenes scattered throughout the series from, you know, season 1, season 2, you know, season 1, episode 1, actually, where, you know, Hannah's the maid at Catherine's dinner party, or excuse me, Jim's 50th birthday party, and then when she confronts Candace upstairs, of course, you know, when Wyatt shoots Jim, and you know, these are just older scenes. I really don't need to go into it full detail. These are just various scenes. But the 2 bits of dialogue I want to talk about here, because again, there are only 2 bits. The first one being, and let me just say this, Veronica steals the show in every freaking trailer she's in. The way she walks up with that new fit and the new hair. Good Lord. Okay, because remember, back in, what was it, January or February? It was the when I was on TV. What was it? Owns the Shows You Love. We had that little teaser of Veronica, Hannah, Jim, David, I believe. And was Jim there, or was it just Jim, or was it just David? And then there was a cop there. It kind of ruined, sorry, throat's dry. It kind of ruined what is the most talked about scene of this trailer. Everybody's like, cat fight. Oh my God, Hannah, stick it to Veronica. Nothing's really going to happen. They're going to get into a scuffle, but that's it. Given the fact that in that promo, or that, you know, brief scene, Hannah's like, you know, I whooped her ass because she was in here snooping around. But they both look pretty much, you know, no scratches or anything. So they get into this scuffle, but there really isn't much to ride home about. So if you give me a moment, let me go ahead and include that clip into this video so you can see what I mean. I don't want to undermine the cat fight. Don't get me wrong, 'cause I know people, we've been wanting to see this for years, but we know what happens after the fight. It's not like one of them kills each other. It's not like one of them, you know, gives the other a black eye. Go ahead and roll. I'll go ahead and roll the clip now. I'm saying roll the clip like I got a damn editor. I'm doing everything myself. Yeah, so as you can see, it's pretty much nobody battle damage, so to speak. But basically from there, we know that Veronica's like looking down from the stairs, which is probably when she gets caught by Hannah. Hannah follows her upstairs. Then they have their stare down. Then they have their altercation. And that's pretty much all there is to say about that particular fight in itself. I mean, it's kind of the background to the dialogue between Jim and David just talking, where, you know, I believe David is asking Jim, do you think Hannah is a weak woman? No, but she is a formidable foe. So those two are just going to be having their little powwows. Hopefully these episodes flow better than the last set of episodes, because if I remember correctly, look, I'm going to be completely honest here. It took me a good 5 minutes to remember how the cliffhanger ended for the last episode we got. And it didn't dawn on me until like, oh yeah, that's right, Justin set himself on fire, because I just remember how lackluster David was for those last few episodes, where he was literally running around for Jim. Like, David was never in the same spot for more than 2 minutes because, oh, he had to go to the jail, he had to go to the hospital, he had to go down to the Malone bar, he had to do this, he had to do that. So it just felt very redundant. But here we go again with them kind of meeting up to decide what their next move is going to be. So what we also have, good Lord. Yeah, this is a full page of notes here, folks. This is a lot of stuff. Also, I want to bring up the scene I brought up before about, you know, Veronica looking just incredible as she approaches Jim. This is at nighttime, because the other piece of dialogue is this. Jim is talking to Veronica. Do you have any idea how close to death you are? And then she retorts, as close as you are. And it looks like Celine is there as well. Remember, this is something that this should have happened a few episodes ago, but Veronica said she was going to serve Jim Cryer paperwork, because she even had a judge come over to her house that night. And basically Jim was given like maybe 24 hours or so to, you know, either pay the child support money or go to court or whatever. But that never happened. But it seems like we're finally following up on that particular storyline. So the question is whether or not Jim is going to pay the money or if he's going to go to jail. And remember, he doesn't have a dime between trying to get $1 million to Vinnie Malone to get the Malones off of Wyatt's back, but he doesn't have the money since Hannah's executor. And I'm very curious to see how Hannah's going to deal with it, given the fact that Veronica's going to serve him the papers and everything to give the money to Celine, but he doesn't have 2 pennies to rub together. Is Hannah going to ask Jim? Is Jim going to just go to Catherine? Or what's going to happen with that? I have no idea. Okay, so that pretty much is the dialogue for the entire trailer. And what I'm going to do now, there are just so many various scenes to talk about, and I did my best to make photo collages of the screenshots. That way they're all together on screen. It makes it a lot easier for me as opposed to having to edit okay, I need to make sure the seconds are down to the wire so the pictures line up. So I put the photos together in the best way possible because I think it's almost like a puzzle. It's like, okay, this screenshot at 11 seconds is in the same scene as this screenshot at 23 seconds. So that's pretty much how I wish I would have been doing trailer breakdowns for all these years, but live and learn, right? Live and learn. Okay, so we pick up in the restaurant and, Justin's on fire and it looks like he's either fallen to the floor or obviously the fire from the table has just ignited the floor next to it. Because remember, he came in there and had gasoline in his coat or something. Then he just torched himself. And then it looks like we get another scene where Jeffrey is at the hospital and I guess this fool is there checking on Justin because there's another scene where he's with somebody and he has his, face in his hand. So I'm going to assume Justin is dead. I hope he is. But speaking of the restaurant scene, I feel like it's been confirmed that Madison is A-okay. If there's anybody who's either, injured, burned, or dead, it's Justin because of the fact that okay, I'm very confused here. Again, like I said, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in any way, shape, or form, because wasn't Wyatt supposed to be going back to jail after he was discharged from the hospital? But then that one therapist was like, well, if you don't allow me to see you in terms of having our counseling sessions, then you had to go directly back to jail. It looks like Wyatt is, like, I guess you could say, swiping a bunch of pill bottles from one of the shelves in the hospital room. And then he's also at the loft with Broderick, because I know it's hard to believe. Broderick? Who's Broderick? Remember, he was the guy that worked at the Artesian Hotel running the prostitute ring with Candace and Rocky. Yeah, I doubt we're going to see Rocky. And Catherine put him up. Pretty much is like, I saw your surroundings. You don't have a lot of money, yada, yada, yada. Stay in this loft, which is the same loft that Wyatt used to live in until he lost all of his money because Candace took it. And then from there, Catherine just said, Broderick, you can stay there. However, then she got arrested and went to jail. And Broderick has just been rotting away. Well, not rotting away. He's just been pretty much an obscure character who is pretty much doing much of nothing. I think Rocky visited him once. And he said, hey, I'm bringing the prostitution ring back. You need to come on back and, let's get this going. It's like, no, I'm going to stay here. So that's pretty much what Broderick is doing. And then it also looks like, Wyatt is snorting in front of him. So it's like, okay, I guess Wyatt's on the run. And Broderick, nothing he could really do about it. This is Catherine's son. But we also get another interesting scene where it looks like Wyatt is... There's some woman he's talking to at the loft, I believe. Is this like a projection from his mind of Amanda? But I'm thinking, wait, is this Anna? Remember his female rehab facilitator, the one who was actually making progress with him until they ended up having sex, and because she felt like she compromised his healing, she decided to be reassigned. And then when it was a male person who came to replace her, he pretty much quit the program. And then, of course, that's when he, he relapsed again and started taking drugs again. So it looks like somehow the incompetent security at the hospital allows Wyatt to get out of his room, get fully dressed, swipe a ton of drugs, and escape once again. I am somewhat interested to see how this plays out, just because I feel like it's going to be a half-assed explanation, but whatever. But going back to what I was saying before about the whole restaurant scene and saying how Justin is most likely the only person to be injured or whatnot and die, we see for some reason Wyatt is at David's house. You can tell it's David's house due to the fact that we see the stairway banister full of bullet holes. Madison is in the background. And for some reason, it looks like Wyatt is about to charge at Leo. Probably Leo's like, hey, you need to go, basically because he's security. And because of that, Wyatt decides to charge him. I don't know what's happening. Maybe it's a situation where Wyatt goes to David's house first, but then he can't find shelter there. So that's why he decides to go to the loft. And then he's there with Broderick. I honestly don't know what's going on here. Is he trying to find Jeffrey? If so, then that makes sense. But yeah, this is it's pretty weird. But at least we know nothing happened to Madison. So I'm pretty confident that Justin is dead. Okay. Benny looking cool in the suit now. Benny looking good in the suit. It looks like he's on a date with Rihanna. Remember, she's the real estate agent who's trying to help him find a house, who's also the ex-girlfriend of Sandy Malone, who won't leave her alone. Boom. So it looks like they're at a restaurant, and you can see on Benny's forehead, it looks like he got hit like a bruise or something. And it looks like it's because either Sandy and or the Malones come after him. Now, there are a couple of reasons this happened. Number one, Sandy obviously doesn't want her to date other people because in his mind, they never broke up. Number two, oh, you're with the black kid instead of me? So this could be either Sandy going after Rihanna or Benny because, hey, you're messing with my girl. Or this could be another situation because of the fact that, and I'm just going to do a quick cutaway here. We got Jim looking smug at Mitch because remember, him and David basically tried to tell or, ask Vinny about the whole Mitch situation in regards to the money, how much Jim owed to save Wyatt, how much Mitch said they paid him, yada, yada, yada. Basically, if it's discovered Mitch lied, then that means the protection that the Malones have over the Young family is null and void. So if Jim tries to get the money, Wyatt's inheritance back from Candace, then it's free game. The Malones are no longer protecting them. So what I'm thinking is once Vinny finds out, then it's like, hey, Mitch lied. The black kid didn't pay us back at all. It was actually Jim Cryer, so he still owes us money. So we're going to take him out. So Benny could be attacked either because of the money or because he's simply dating the wrong girl without knowing it. So we also go to the fact that whatever happens during this encounter, whatever restaurant they're at, hopefully it's not the Malone restaurant because, well, then again, it could be. Remember the restaurant that Warlock and his crew got shot down at? That could be the restaurant they go to. Unknown. Well, I don't know if Rihanna would know if that was a Malone establishment. I know Benny would know. He's only been to the Iron Bone bar. That would be pretty interesting. We'll find out soon enough. But we know that whatever happens, Benny doesn't die because it looks like in another scene, Rihanna is on top of him kissing him. And he has, blood on his collar. He has the bruise on his forehead. So the encounter doesn't go well, but nobody dies. But basically because, let's say, he defended her, he saved her, or she's sorry that he got caught up in this. They start making out. They probably have sex. So whatever happens, he doesn't die. Okay, so from there, we also, I talked briefly about the whole Jim and Mitch situation, but let's talk about Mitch himself outside of Jim, because another scene that everybody can't stop talking about is seeing Mitch and his boxers on the bed. It looks like this is probably another hotel, because I do think Candace and Benny both said they weren't going to stay at this expensive hotel anymore, so they probably downgraded. I'm going to assume that, Mitch and Candace just decide to go somewhere. And Mitch, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that they don't have sex. Maybe Mitch is misreading the situation and he decides to undress and whatnot. And then Candace comes out of the bathroom. And she's like, hey, what are you doing? Because we get a range of emotions from Candace, but pretty much her base emotion that we've seen for the past season and a half, standing around for arms crossed. So they probably talk about everything going on, you know, Benny being jealous, you know, probably the aftermath of the Charles situation. And it looks like she has a concerned look on her face because there's one scene where she's not wearing that black t-shirt, but she's walking away, but then turns around. Maybe because she's leaving because she doesn't like where Mitch is going with this connection they have, this friendship. I don't know. I mean, Mitch in the bed could be after sex. Like maybe Candace goes to the bathroom afterwards or something. Or this is like her stepping out and then he, you know, gets undressed. I'm not going to say that it's Landon because we know Landon's attracting to him, but Mitch made it clear, no, you're not having sex with him alone. So guys, put the fan theories out there. I mean, excuse me. I'm debunking those theories. It's not Landon, even though that would be one hell of a surprise. But no, I'm thinking Mitch probably, you know, thinks this is going somewhere that it's really not. That's just my opinion. So from there, we also have another scene where Candace looks spooked. It looks like, you know, she's kind of backing away from something. Remember, it kind of takes I remember when Quincy used to, I remember when Quincy used to be like the only thing that had Candace rattled, you know, like the very mention of his name would make her just, you know, knock her socks off out of fear. So does this go back to what I was saying before about the Malone protection being lifted? Like maybe Mitch isn't in the room and it's only her. One of two things could be true. Maybe Charles pops up unexpectedly, or this could be something different. Maybe Mitch tries to force himself on her. Hopefully that's not the case. It's like, you know what? You and your brother owe me for so much. I've done so much for you and I've never got anything in return. You're going to give me what I want, and that's you, Candace. Hopefully that's not the case. I think two things could be true. Number one, like I mentioned before, with the Malone security lifted, what if Jim does something or sends someone to, you know, threaten Candace in order to get the money back? That's one. Number two, remember that Scott and Kyle, who I don't even know if they'll be in these final episodes, let alone Conley, you know, Jeffrey Owens' character. Scott and Kyle plan to kill Candace. Could this be that somebody they send after to kill her? Possibly. I don't know. So either way, Candace is spooked about something. I mean, it's like the narrator said, the wicked will be punished. So you never know. You never know. And also, speaking of, you know, Charles, we know that the press keeps hounding Candace and everything. So who's to say that people don't follow her around and discover, oh, she's at this low-end hotel or motel from Malone. Is she stepping out on the soon-to-be president? Not to mention the whole pregnancy thing. I mean, like, I'm very interested to see how they're going to follow that up. But moving on from there, we get Catherine, who is being, here's what I think. I know some people might look at that one scene where Catherine is being, you know, she's escorted by the police officer through the jail cells. I don't think she's being let out because I feel like if she was, she would look a little more energetic and happy. I'm thinking this is either before she's either being escorted to or from the room where she's in there talking with Veronica. I don't know what they could be talking about. It could be just another refresher meeting about Veronica's loans and mortgages at the bank. I don't know. Or, you know, defending Catherine to get out of jail. I don't know. But either way, I don't think Catherine's getting out of jail. I'm standing by that. And just to double check here, just give me one moment. I want to look over my notes just to make sure I talked about every flipping detail of this trailer. All right, now, aside from the Wyatt scene where he's just sitting and there's this girl where we see the back of her head, but we don't know who it is. The other scene that baffles me because I can't make heads or tails of it, we got Veronica. It looks like this is at her house and she's in the backyard with the pool and everything. She's watching somebody do something. And I don't know what it is or who it is or what they're doing. Could this be the Colby beatdown, the Colby murder where she hired, what was it, Tanner to, you know, arrange a situation where Colby would come meet him. I think he's like, no, he knows who I am. He knows my face. Maybe Colby would arrange it where there's a guy at Veronica's house and Colby's going to go there to meet him, and then it's a trap and then they beat him up. Or this could be Samuel. I don't know. But yeah, that's the only scene I'm kind of like, wait, I really don't know what's going on here. But I double checked and I'm pretty sure I covered everything there is to cover about this 30-second promo. So my thoughts? Thought it was pretty good. To be completely honest, I know that tonight is the Delilah finale for season 1 and the mid-season finale of the Oval season 2. But I just think it's hilarious that this haves and have not promo just swooped in and took all the attention away from everything else. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure the Oval, might be very good tonight. At least I hope so. But I'm just more interested in the fact that, wait, there's a show that's still not going to be on the air for over a month from now. And it's taking the attention away from 2 shows that are about to go off the air for some time now. To my knowledge, I haven't seen anything about Delilah on OWN being renewed for season 2 or any idea about the filming of season 2. And the Oval, well, we know they've already filmed season 3. We just don't know the return date for the Oval season 2 part 2. I don't think we'll get that until maybe like August. That's just me guessing. I don't know, but I'm thinking like maybe August or late July. So like I said, next month is going to be a pretty barren month for the channel, which okay, I can focus on other things. But yeah, this was a pretty strong trailer. I'm quite pleased with it. If we don't get another one until after episode 1, I'll be quite content. Yes, I mean, we didn't see characters like Derek. We don't know what's happening there. Just based off the trailer, I don't know if we're ever going to see any kind of court cases or anything. People actually facing time for their various crimes. I just feel like maybe they'll pull in If Loving You Is Wrong, where a bunch of people just die in the final episode. I just don't think 8 episodes is enough. Kind of like Falcon and Winter Soldier. I mean, that season was 6 episodes, but at the same time, we know it's going to bleed into the greater MCU. Like, hell, what was it? The same day the last episode dropped, they already said, oh yeah, the showrunners are actually going to be working on Captain America 4 with Sam Wilson. It's like, yay. But with the haves and the have-nots, 8 episodes and that's it. Unless we get some kind of miracle announcement of a movie, a follow-up series, a prequel series, the show coming to Viacom, I don't know. I don't know. These are 8 episodes. And remember, If Loving You Is Wrong, and feel free to correct me again, was like, 12 episodes for that final season? 12 or 8 episodes, I forget how long, but no, I think it was like a dozen or 13, and it still didn't finish things up. And I'm looking like, we only got 8 episodes, and we're supposed to believe everything is going to be tied up neatly. We're going to get a satisfying conclusion. Like I said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas. I'm kidding. I'm not expecting a true finale. I will be insulted as a day 1 fan to not get one. I'm just not expecting it because, like I said before, no, when you think about it, this could indeed be a finale because these episodes are what originally should have been the ending of season 7, because the back half of season 7, the first half of season 8, were filler episodes to extend the series' lifespan for the OWN network, because that was arranged after Tyler had already left for Viacom. So who knows? Maybe these episodes will indeed wrap things up the way Tyler intended. If that's the case, bravo. But of course, we will not find out until the show actually comes on the air. So with that being said, what was your favorite part of the promo? For me personally, Veronica, when she walked up to Jim's house in that black outfit, the new hair, I'm like, damn it. Just, she knows how to steal the show. Not just the scene, but the show itself. Like I said, there really wasn't a lot of dialogue to dissect here. It was just Jim and Veronica. Then it was Jim and David. And the narrator, icy cold delivery that sent chills down my spine. So I really can't wait to see what's going to happen. But yeah, we got a little bit over a month of speculation. I will probably do some breakaway videos from the trailer. You know I always do. But I'm going to wait because I feel like I'll let this marinate all week. I'll let this be the only have and have not video I do this week. Because like I said, the Oval and Delilah are wrapping up. And I don't know if Ruthless is taking a break as well. But either way, I got those 3 shows to review this week. Then next week, the first week of May, aka the month of no shows, I'll do some have and have not content, you know, because there are some other points I want to make, but for the most part, I covered everything thoroughly. But you know, people want the videos and they'll get them. So I pretty much got nothing left right now. I mean, I did go to Walmart the other day and I found some Tyler Perry DVDs in the $5 bin. I got 5 of them, so I will definitely touch base. I'll probably do some kind of contest just to kind of celebrate the mid-season of mid-season of the Oval. And you know, of course, we get the promo for the haves and have nots. The Sisters Facebook group is now at 192,000 members, which is phenomenal. So the group will be hitting 200,000 probably sometime next week, even though the show is on a break right now. Things are going relatively well on the social media side. The house side, yeah, still struggling on that. But if you want to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App. You know, the drill is not mandatory, but it is, you know, appreciated. But if nothing else, you watching this video does help me out. And you liking and subscribing to the channel does wonders as well. So that's all I have for you. Like I said, more videos will be coming in the near future. But the rest of this week will be devoted to the other shows that have been blown out of the water by this freaking promo itself. Let's get the discussion going in the comment section below. Let me know if there was anything I missed in terms of talking points. I'm pretty sure I got everything, but like I said, I'm a human. I make mistakes. So thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Enjoy the rest of the month of April. And with that being said, I'll talk to you soon.